All right, I don't have the fancy intro music like my buddy Doug. I can sing it. No, it's a bad idea. Okay. You don't like my singing?
Nobody does.
It's not fair or true. There's a very, very sizable population of people that like to listen to me sing, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
My name is Charlie Mcgrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com. I am the co-founder of the DoomCast, DoomCast.com, the DoomCast Show on Twitter. It is the first day of March 2014, Saturday night. I'm in Denver, Colorado. I have been traveling for this week. A lot of you guys know from last week's program that we would be recording DoomCast from a remote location. I'm the traveling Doomer. I have been all month, and I will be through March as well. And Doug and I made a promise that when we started DoomCast, that every single week, regardless of time or without fail, we would put together a DoomCast for you guys. And we had plans to do it tonight about an hour ago, the only window both of us could get together. And he is experiencing some difficulties and cannot make it. But as we are true to our word, we're going to do this thing. And I got a very, very special guest. Actually, I've got a guest who I love with all of my heart, and I have for many, many years, and you guys have heard about her. It is my girlfriend, my fellow Doomer, and I do believe that that's a reluctant Doomer at times, forced into the Doom. And we're going to have a conversation, and it's just going to be an easygoing back and forth. I want you guys to meet her. Like I said, you've heard about her for going on years now. We've been dating long distance for over, how long?
7 years.
7 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. Man, I'm old.
You are.
I'm not that old. She's hilarious, and she's my best friend in the whole wide world, and there is absolutely nobody that would put up with the lifestyle that I have, and the things that I'm involved in, and the scary things that I bring to light to her that she can absorb and put into perspective and put into place. Know that it's true, but still drive on, because she's a mother with a daughter who's just entered college, and she's got her plans to benefit herself, her future, and she has to be awake because she's with me. And I think there's a lot of people that absolutely wouldn't. And you know what? First of all, Karla, say hi,
hi.
To the Doomer audience.
Hi.
Yeah, that's great.
Sorry, I got overzealous.
You did. You got a little crazy there with you're like a mic hog.
I know. Sorry.
First of all, I want to thank you for coming on and sitting with me and helping me fill this DoomCast. And I thought about having you on the radio program or this DoomCast or any of the YouTube videos I've done, which you've watched hundreds and hundreds of for a long, long time. But it's pretty intimidating, isn't it? You've watched me. This is me. This is Mike Hogg. This is your boyfriend, the Mike Hogg. So when you try to talk, I'm probably going to step all over you.
That's fine.
Folks, she says that's fine until she wants her word in, and then I guarantee she's going to get her word in. But you see me do these videos, and it seems easy when you see me do it, because I've done so many of them. But it is very, very intimidating to sit here and try to put your thoughts together and put it out there. So thank you for helping me get a DoomCast out tonight, Pumpkin.
You're welcome.
Aw.
I feel sorry for your
audience.
Speak
up. Our audience needs to hear you.
Oh, I feel sorry for the audience.
No.
Oh, I do. They're stuck with me.
No, they're going to love you. I love you. They're going to love you.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question. We're going to all right, here's the topics we're going to cover tonight on DoomCast. I don't know how long this is going to run. If Doug calls in, I'll probably jump on with Doug, and we'll do a formal one. But if not, this is going to be the broadcast for DoomCast number 30, our 30th continuous week of providing DoomCast. I want to thank. Listen, I've got a folder full of donations, guys, that you all graciously, without me asking or even suggesting, when you watch that video of my experience in the Gulf, some of you guys just immediately donated. KW, you are $100. Some kids who had nothing, they don't have any money. They're giving me $2.50 because it influenced their decision what they're going to do as far as getting done with high school and going in the military and on. So, that video was just pure me in the middle of the night, and you guys responded in a way that was very, very, very encouraging. And going forward, I have more VA stuff to share with you guys, and I'll be doing that. Probably, definitely not on a Doomcast unless me and Doug are joking about it. But that was just a casual conversation, kind of like you're going to have tonight, listening to what it's like to be at the periphery of all of this. And by all of this, I mean this double life that I lead. Karla, I mean, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Pull it together.
I know, I don't want to cough.
Do it. I cough all the time.
No, I'm good.
All right. Get your game face on.
It's on.
All right. You see the double life. And during the day, 9 to 5, I'm a dad. I work. I have a fairly important-ish job.
Yeah.
Do a lot of traveling. Do a lot of big deals. And then at night I turn into this I don't know what is. Not a conspiracy nut. Maybe some people think that. But has it been hard for you to date me during this time? 7 years, and when we started this, you and I were just both, probably you leaned a little to the left, I leaned a little to the right, and we were just all rah, let's make some money. We're both in the building industry, and I've certainly changed 180 degrees, and I'm pretty sure you have as well. But has it been hard to be involved in all that with me, with your significant other?
No, I think at first I didn't take it seriously,
right,
or what you were doing at all. Thought it was odd, but I don't anymore.
How long did that last?
Oh, is that new? Is that new information you're getting now?
Yeah, what's up? So at first, that would have been like 2008. The financial collapse of 2008. That would have been the start of the Crappy Dog Trips YouTube channel, and I think I probably made 30 or 40 videos before I ever even told you about what I was doing. And so at first you just thought, oh, he's passing some time. How do you think?
Can I just premise everything I say with I pretty much have amnesty because you can't get mad at anything now.
Okay, I won't get mad.
Or later.
I'm not going to promise later, but right now, no, I won't get mad at you.
Okay.
You know everything I do on this, so.
No, and at first, yeah. But that's because I wasn't at all really politically active and didn't pay attention, or I didn't. So you doing it, I thought that's not really happening. No, that's not happening. Couldn't be. But that's all changed.
Now it's like activist guy.
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed by it?
No. I'm really proud of you.
Were you embarrassed by it then? Like, ooh, I don't want him to talk about this at blah 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 meeting. Because for those of you that don't know, I just said we're both in the building industry. Dooomer Karla and I would be at functions together. Sometimes her company would hire me to consult and go, Canada several times and across the country to talk about their product. Were you worried that my political views would ever pop out on the table?
No, never. No, you do a really good job of making that separation, and you keep both worlds completely separate all the time.
It's getting harder.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's getting harder. I mean, we're at I think 6 million views on YouTube, and it used to be once in a while people would recognize me, but if I travel now, inevitably somebody, I'm not saying I'm a movie star, but somebody, I'm in Vegas, I'm gonna have 1 or 2 people that say, oh, I've seen you on YouTube, or oh, blah blah blah, I've seen you on RT. Russians said that to me at our last show. There were some Russians in there doing shopping for building materials at the building show. And they said, oh, yeah, I saw you on RT. I asked them if they came in our booth, and they were taking pictures of our product, and they were speaking Russian. And I asked them if they ever heard of RT, and they loved it. Yeah, RT's huge. And that's something else that's kind of weird. You've seen those most Americans have no clue what RT is. It's the 200 whatever the channel on their satellite. But you've seen all those interviews. I
did not know RT existed until you started doing.
Still, most don't.
Yeah.
Most don't. But it's not really an independent media. I mean, RT is big. I mean, they have a bigger audience by far than Fox or CNN globally. They
do seem less politically biased though, than like your MSNBC and Fox, because those are so one way.
Yeah, neocon or blue team, red team.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is my opinion, that they follow a script for their team, and it's divide and conquer is what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
They want, if you're a granola tree hugger living in Denver, Colorado, you're supposed to jump on the bandwagon of Rachel Maddow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a neocon red stater in Wyoming, and you're supposed to be jumping on the bandwagon of Sean Hannity, and if you don't, then there's something wrong with you. And you and I have mutual acquaintances that you hear them now speak, and I'm just going to say Bill because that's no big deal. We both know a guy named Bill, who, if you listen to him talk, he will illustrate what's wrong with our political system. Yet he can't pull it out of the frame of it's Obama's fault or it's the Democrats' fault. It's because the Republicans are not in power, and it's going to be better when they're back in power. They'll change things around. Even though if you have a conversation with them and you just ask him not even leading questions, but just common sense questions, like, well, don't you think under W, when we expanded our debt by tenfold, and we expanded these roles, the welfare roles, the social safety net roles, and expanded the power of the Federal Reserve. I mean, all this happened under Republican. He'll admit to all that, but it's just him trying to break out of that old school, I have to be a red state Republican. You had mentioned a bit ago that it's right in people's face, and I believe that people see what's going on,
mm-hmm.
and if they think about it for a minute, they can come up with 20 different things that are going on that are wrong in our political system. But it's that pulling themselves away from the two-party, two-team, blue-red system that is absolutely critical to be a critical free thinker. And I know you're there. I know you don't, you don't say, well, it's those dang Republicans or those dang Democrats.
No.
But, I mean, most people aren't. Do you think that? Most people are either, they have to belong to something. They have to belong to a team.
Well, yeah, because that's how it's structured. Those are the voices that have the ears on media.
Yeah.
The networks. I don't think there are any independent networks out there.
No.
At all. So what options do people have who wouldn't know otherwise?
Well, that's a great point. And the options are, you listen to these establishment media, we'll call them, but you do so in a way that isn't automatically going into the left team camp or right team camp. You're doing it with your filter, Dooomer Karla filter. So when you hear something that's bullcrap on Fox, or you hear something that's bullcrap on MSNBC, you call it for what it is. So how can you separate the difference between, or how can you live, or what's been different besides being with me? What's been different that allow you to look at a scenario or look at a story and determine that it's, the merit of left or right has to be taken out? Is that too tough of a question?
It was, you said a lot before you got to the question. So
I guess the point there is, I hear all the time that people are waking up,
yeah.
Right? People say, yeah, the country's waking up. And in some ways, I think that things are becoming bad, and they're going to continue to get worse. And as that occurs, more and more people will realize that things are getting bad and going to get worse. But even if they see this bad worse scenario unfolding, if they're still putting it into red or blue, it doesn't matter, because we're still going to go down the same path. We're still going to let things go from bad to worse and then blame the Dems or blame the Republicans. My prediction is, we have this midterm coming up this year, and it's going to be a swing to neoconism, and then we'll have the general in 2016, and it's going to be a swing to nationalism, a la Nazi Party,
mm-hmm.
super nationalists, maybe somebody like Rand Paul, or some other far-leaning, bastion of nationalism. So, even though people are seeing a decline in the economy, or fracturing in the economy, fracturing in even the social fabric of the country, if they're not pulling it out of the desired agenda if they're not pulling it out of that matrix of red or blue, then it doesn't matter if they see it or not. It doesn't matter if they realize if we're heading downhill or not. We have to independently think for ourselves, or we're just going to be led like sheeple as we have been. So I agree, people are seeing the truth, but I don't agree with you necessarily that people are waking up. I think that they still want to hold on to those old paradigms.
Yeah, but they do, because it's easy, and it's easy to have your politics spoon-fed to you than it is to actually want to gain knowledge and search and find the truth for yourself.
Okay, so that being said, with my big, long, giant question and your little baby answer, do you think, without your experience with the crappy dog tricks, the Wide Awake News, the DoomCast, all that, the RT, all the hundreds of videos you watched, would you have, and you and I never met, would you be sitting here in 2014 a completely independent thinker, or do you think you'd be more inclined to be led left, right, or other by a political party? The reason I ask that is because I truly want to believe that independent media is having a positive effect on the country, and obviously I'm part of that independent media. I'm not asking you to give me a glowing review that I woke you up and all that. I'm saying, has the touch of independent media? You said there's no balance, or there's no impartial media, and I agree that there's no establishment media that's impartial, but I do think there's a large community of independent thinkers that are trying to get a message across. Maybe it's something like this, or just YouTube videos, or whatever. They're writing articles, or they're trying to get a message out and get it across. Do you think you'd be at the same place, not knowing me, but an influence of independent thinkers and independent media, or would you be just like seeing crap going wrong, but you're still following the Dems?
That's incriminating.
Yeah,
is what that is. Honestly, I think that I probably would. I don't think that I would be as unbiased and as open-minded. Just because the way that what you do have influenced me, which is, of course, what you do in relationships. Your partner influences you in a lot of different things. People take up different activities or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I probably would.
So you pretty much do exactly what I say.
Yeah, no, not even remotely.
So I'm the boss of you.
You're not the boss of me. No.
Oh.
No. Did you think you were?
I thought. Well.
Oh, that's sad.
See, I'm in my own paradigm.
You are. You live on a different planet.
It's the Charlie paradigm, and in my paradigm, I'm the boss of you. And I know that's not true. I'm just kidding. It's completely. And that's one thing that's kept. Listen, I've had. I don't even know how many people over the years tell me that their girl or their wife left them because they tried to do a truth dump, I call it, on them, or their girlfriend left them or broke up with them, or they were having problems because of this, and that's a real thing. And have I ever talked about that, Karla?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've had people call when I'm on the Rinse Network and say I told they are new, they just woke up, right? They realize all this stuff's going on, and they realize it's all a setup, and they're just starving for knowledge, so they're going to every alternative site and they're amassing all this information, and then they're going to somebody they care about because they care about them and dumping this truth on them as they see it, and it literally freaks out the person they're trying to influence. So and my advice then and now has always been moderation. You can't just grab the truth like a bucket of cold water and throw it on somebody and expect a positive influence. And a lot of people that listen to DoomCast like what Doug and I are doing. With it's more, I hate to use the word entertaining because we're not entertainers, but we try to keep it lighthearted, but yet put truth in there so that if somebody's listening to it, they can send it to their relative and maybe they'll get a chuckle out of this political satire or commentary we're doing, yet see a little bit of truth, let a little of that truth leak in. Did you like that expression?
Yeah.
Leak in. But the throwing a cold bucket of reality on somebody's, it's a good way to lose that somebody. And I've worried about that with you. That's why probably, like I said, the first 30 or 40 videos, and I was really getting into this, I didn't even want to share it with you because it was like, I don't want to freak her out. Never did, though. You're pretty sturdy.
I am sturdy.
You are.
Yeah.
You're a sturdy. You're a sturdy gal.
No, it didn't freak me out.
But you could see how it could.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. If you were like, "Hey, I want to go live in a tree off the grid," you want to come?
Listen,
I'd be like, "Nope. Stay where I'm at."
You won't go be an off-grid tree guy with me?
No.
Oh.
No. I could never survive. Ever. Really?
You could survive.
I could not survive. I can't camp.
You're not.
I can't camp for a day.
You're not a good camper.
I could not live in a tree.
No, but that's why we need each other, because I can camp, and I have the military experience and the knowledge, and you're working hard on getting your medical profession underway.
Yeah.
And that's, let's talk about that for a minute. And I mean, look, we're 21 minutes into this, Karla.
Wow.
How are you feeling? Are you nervous still?
No.
All right. Guys, if you're looking for a hard-hitting DoomCast tonight, I don't know if it's going to get there. I will cover some of the Russian stuff going on in the Ukraine in a little bit, and then talk a little bit about the International River Expo that I was at. But what did I say I wanted to talk about? Oh, your medical deal. So Dooomer Karla is, like I said a bit ago, her and I are in the building industry, but she's working hard to become a what's it, physician's assistant or nurse practitioner?
Nurse practitioner.
What's the difference? They're both the same.
They are. They both treat, diagnose, and prescribe. There's really not much of a difference.
Yeah.
You have to be a registered nurse first to be a nurse practitioner. You don't to be a PA.
Oh.
It's weird. You can
a
literally.
PA sounds more important until you hear that.
But they're not.
Okay.
They're not.
In the Revolution, can you treat my bullet wounds?
Probably.
Will you live in a tree with me?
Probably not.
Will you come visit me in my tree hospital after the Revolution bullet wound?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
I will be your first visitor.
All right. Well,
sure.
We got that down.
Yeah.
That's good. You crack me up. You're hilarious. How have we made it this long?
I don't even know. Genuinely don't know.
I don't know either.
No clue.
It's 7 years, Dooomer Karla.
Long distance.
500 miles by an airplane. 800 miles if we drive it. And
we see each other a lot, though. I mean,
yeah, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what makes it work. And you're busy. You have work, and then you do this, the alternative media.
Yeah.
I have work. I have school. We're too busy.
Are we gonna kill each other if we're under the same roof one day?
Probably, yeah.
Unless it's a treehouse roof. You're gonna be busy. You're gonna be knitting.
No.
Tanning leather. These are things that gotta get done. I like to call it the busy work. No, I'm just kidding. No, I am very, very excited about your career path, because I do believe that the job that we have, which, guys, large quantities of the products, I sell a vast array of products, but a large portion of them that that the audience knows about is Pacific Rim, which is a cool way to say made in China.
That is, I've never heard that.
You've never heard Pacific Rim?
Ever.
Oh my God.
No. That's a thing?
That's a thing. Pacific Rim.
When did that become a thing?
Oh, it's one of the corporate catchphrases. You got to know the corporate catchphrases if you're going to sound like you know what you're talking about.
Well, our products are made in China, so.
Yeah, but yours are made in Mexico. So yours are outsourced from another location.
Yeah, but it's still North America.
Yeah, it's North America.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're going to, another catchphrase, upwardly integrated. We're going to talk a little bit about being upwardly integrated. Or maybe synergy between our Pacific Rim partners. These are things that are said, and I hear them, and it just makes me want to pull my hair out if I had it. I'd pull my hair out. Yeah. Pacific Rim. So anyway, both of us are in the building industry. We sell a lot of products. None of them are made. Either of our products are made. Let me say that again. All the products that we sell combined, a lot of them are not made in this country. And so the notion that you're pushing forward with in the medical field, I've been in support of that for that reason for a long time, is because we were both making big bank through the 2005-06 boom years, leading up to the implosion of 2008. And when you decided that it was time to go a different way, I was all about the medical because I think it's, people are always going to get sick and it's going to be something that we're going to need. Absolutely. I still think we're going to see a hot revolution. Wow, just stone-faced right now, folks. Nope, there's a smile. I think we're going to see a hot revolution. Do you think we're going to get there? Or do you think, I'll just ask you point blank, do you think we're going to see a shooting revolution in this country where it's going to be a return to real free market capitalism, real states' rights, real sovereignty for individuals? Or are we going just going to keep marching down this path of being surveilled? I mean, you're in Denver. You're in Denver where it is, compared to where I'm at in Montana, you're surveilled. Every traffic light you go through, there's random stops for this, that, and the other thing. And nobody, except for a small minority, most people just capitulate. They don't care. Whatever. Yeah, I'll pull over and I'll get finger probed so I can, be a good little citizen. Do you see a revolt coming? Or
not in our lifetime. I really don't think so.
Why?
Because not enough people care. Not enough people care to do anything. It's not there. But at some point they will. At some point people will. I don't know if we'll see. I'll see it, or you'll see it in your lifetime.
Do you want me to tell you what's going to make it happen in our lifetime?
What?
Because it's going to happen in our lifetime.
Okay. Go on.
I'm going to go on. And you can and see, this is me tempering information that because I love you. I don't want to freak you out.
Do you think I'm a delicate flower?
No.
Okay.
I absolutely know you are not a delicate flower. You are a sturdy reed in a stiff wind.
Okay. I don't think I like that. That's worse.
I want just a sturdy reed. You're solid. You're trustworthy. You're tough. It's hard to scare you. You're not flimsy. I'm not digging
any more adjectives.
I'm not digging my way out at all.
No.
Here's what's going to happen. The day, and a lot of folks listening know I feel this way because I share it. The day that the world stops recognizing our money as the world reserve currency, and we can't print it in infinitum in order to paper over and pretend that things are okay, and amass instead of $9 trillion in mortgage debt, we'll shift it for a while and do $1 trillion in student loan debt. We'll spend billions of dollars every single month fighting wars around the world. As soon as we can no longer have that influence over the world, and we as people of the United States have to realize that paying for all this crap has come due. We don't know that. We don't know what that's like yet. We don't know what it's like to have to pay the bills of killing people around the world. We don't know what it's like to have to pay the bills of expanding corporatocracy around the world. We don't know what it's like to pay the bills for what's going on in the Ukraine right now. But we're gonna. One day it's gonna happen, and a lot of Americans are gonna realize there's a stiff cost to doing all of this crap in the name of American-style democracy, which is completely different than what this nation was founded at. So we're living under illusion right now. We're spending money that we don't have. We're using influence that is gained by the ability to spend money that we don't have. And once that influence is lost, and it's happened in every great empire that's ever been on this planet, it won't be we're going to drift 20 years into downfall. Once that realization and that power is taken from this nation, it's going to be a fast decline. And it won't be something that the planet hasn't seen before. It'll just be something that a lot of people think couldn't happen here. If you look at like some of the events in Argentina over the last couple of decades, very developed modern nation, bam, these economic collapse, and they're back to the Stone Age for a bit, and then build up and then fall again. Or if you look at Eastern Europe right now, and some of these countries that are just absolutely devastated, these nations that are the periphery of the EU or the former. That's another big word, periphery. I'm dropping on you. Or what?
No, you're expanding my vocabulary.
I am. I'm a vocab help.
You are.
So that's what I think is. I think it's really easy to look at our sitch and say it's not going to change that much in our lifetime. And I agree with you. As long as the world is enamored by our ability to cover 70% of it with our military, and our dollars that we print, that and we don't have to pay the piper for all this. People will have checks in the mail and cold beer and power on, but once that's gone, it's gonna fall fast. And I'm hoping you have your medical thing. I'm sure you will. You'll be all complete by then, and be able to patch the tree wound in the tree hospital. So does that perspective make sense to you? It
does. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I still think we're a little ways away from that.
How? I don't. It's not for me to ask that. You know.
This is not in my wheelhouse like it is yours. So.
Oh, wheelhouse. Are we wheelhousing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair to put you on the spot like that. You didn't know you were going to sit down.
No, I was literally eating a piece of cheesecake. Now I'm sitting here.
Doing an interview.
Yeah.
Are you following what's going on in Russia or in the Ukraine?
Somewhat.
Can I give you a breakdown? Let me tell you what's going on there. Or I want to give you my opinion what's going on there.
Yeah.
All right. So back in December, a little bit before then, and I'll link information to this Doomcast so you guys can check all this out for yourself. But the Ukraine is interesting. The Ukraine is like a CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, little test country, and it was one of the original color revolutions. It was the Orange Revolution, and when the Soviet Empire came apart, and right now it's pretty much needed by the EU, by that communist authority, the European Union, to stave off ultimate collapse of the European Union. They desperately need the resources of the Ukraine. They need the Ukraine for its routes to Asia. They need the Ukraine for its raw materials that it has. They need it to keep feeding that communist beast, which is the European Union. And without it, it hastens the demise of the EU.
So you have the European Union saying, hey, Ukraine, we want your resources. We want to take over. We want you on this side, blah, 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 right? And then you have Russia saying, no. Hey, you're stepping on our territory. Ukraine is ours. Right?
Kind of, yeah. You have Russia, who's obviously, Ukraine was part of the Soviet bloc, so it's long relationship with Russia.
Right.
The Crimean Peninsula, which is part of Ukraine, is heavily Russian influenced and speaks Russian. And they have military bases there already, just kind of like the U.S. has military bases in England and that kind of thing. So yeah, there's this pull. The European Union is pulling from the Western perspective, and Russia is pulling from the Eastern perspective. Both of them want the resources of Ukraine, and both of them want their infrastructure and their travel or their access to Asian markets and that kind of thing.
Okay, so what are the Ukrainians doing?
Well, it's a good question. There's a lot of them that are being duped by, American actors coming on and pleading for them to lean towards the European Union's bailout proposal. And so a lot of them are putting their finger in the air and painting it orange and calling it a revolution. But I think what is, if you filter through establishment media, and gather the truth for yourself, it's pretty obvious that there's a majority of the people that do not want to get onto the sinking ship of the European Union because it's so economically hamstrung, and it's so, these peripheral nations are so devastated. Look at Greece, look at Cyprus. They don't want to be that. So they want their allegiance with their, country of Russia. So here you have this big conflict going on. But whatever the outcome is, it should be, in my opinion, the people of an uninfluenced people of Ukraine be self-determining, not the frickin' CIA in there, not George Clooney in there, putting propaganda into these folks' ears. And we certainly, as Americans, need to understand that when this crap happens, people die. And that's one thing that really annoys me and really bothers me, is when these operations are implemented, people literally die as a result of them. Now, if the people revolted on their own, of course, there's going to be bloodshed and violence. But our influence in order to satisfy the International Monetary Fund should be an outrage to every American who knows what's going on.
Okay, wait. So there's all this infighting then.
Yeah.
In Ukraine, you have people, Ukrainians, who are saying nope, let's side with Russia, and other Ukrainians saying no, I'd rather go the European Union, and so that's where all this infighting is coming from, correct?
Yeah.
So Putin goes in. Is that how you say his name?
Putin, yeah.
Putin, whatever.
Putin. He's a badass, by the way.
Badass and a good badass? Badass and a bad
badass.
badass.
He'll ride a horse without a shirt.
That's not badass.
It's pretty tough when you're
Anybody
60.
can get on a horse without a shirt.
You would look good doing it.
I would never do it.
And so would Vladimir Putin, who's 60 years old and ripped. I'm a fan of this.
I don't trust your judgment. I have to see it.
All right.
I got it.
He's a badass. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
So he's going in now.
Yeah.
So the European Union, what are they doing to secure their side? But they're not going in yet. They're okay.
Oh, military-wise?
Military-wise.
What they've done is they've said Canada, Britain, and the United States have said there's going to be severe punishment through the UN.
So they're sanctioning Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how they're fighting it right now. Okay.
And they're threatening to pull out and end or cancel the G8 summit that's scheduled for a few months from now, the economic summit. So we'll see. A lot of people think this is the start of another Cold War. Now you can look at conspiratorially, you can look at it and say this could be an excuse for an economic or a cover for economic implosion, right? A battle between the East and the West, a restart of a Cold War, and an implosion of the European economy, which obviously we're linked so tight at the hip with the EU, the US is, that there's not going to be an implosion there without it happening here. So it is very interesting development, and it's certainly one that has to be watched because it's going to continue to. Putin isn't going to just back down. He's not going to say, okay, yeah. CIA,
It's too much in it for him. Same with the EU. So what's your opinion?
On what? On who's right?
Huh?
You know what? I lean against the International Monetary Fund because their scorched earth policy has been proven time and time again since 2008 to go in, devastate a nation, take every resource that it has, pledge the people into indentured servitude, and call it free market capitalism, and at the same time strip their sovereignty and make them slaves of the state.
Well, what makes Russia better? They would go in and take their resources and money and everything else from the Ukraine. What makes them any better?
Well, the only thing that makes them better, in my opinion, is they're not doing it to the rest of the world through the guise of economic development. I'm not an apologist for Russia, even though I'm on RT on occasion. I'm not an apologist, and there's always political motivating, factors to everything. But if you're looking at who's doing the most damage on this planet right now, it's a bunch of greedy corporatist bankers who disguise themselves as government functionaries in the Federal Reserve and the International Monetary Fund, and they are going in and stealing the lives and the wealth of people in nations all throughout Europe and the world. They devastate them economically. They issue an offer of help in a loan, and once they accept that loan, they basically become the bitch of the IMF.
Why does Ukraine have to go either way?
They don't.
Okay.
They could just become the independent Republic of Ukraine, and they're economically they're devastated right now. They're whatever president or prime minister gets in there, they're going to look for economic aid. Now the one that was just ousted, I'm going to butcher his name, Yankovic, was leaning Russian and was going to get aid from Russia and not sign a pact with the EU and the IMF.
So that's why they have to lean, because they're in need.
Yeah, they have
no
been,
choice.
pretty much all of Eastern Europe, pretty much all of Europe is in financial disarray right now.
Yeah.
But Eastern Europe more so than Western. But the goal is to have access to that region and their resources. So people will die. Bankers don't care. They profit from and that's interesting, because we had that conversation today because in Colorado here, this is a big jump, but bankers are involved in everything.
Oh, pot.
Pot. It's legal.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
yeah.
and I don't, you don't, but
No.
it's legal. We could.
Yeah.
We could go buy it at a shop, and it's ironic that if you want to have a completely legitimate, the people of Colorado, sovereign state of Colorado, and the individuals that make up its inhabitants have voted to legalize the recreational use of marijuana. It's illegal. It's completely within the law. You can go do it. But a lot of the banks, maybe even all of them, I don't know.
None of them. No bank. If you go into a recreational, or even if you have a medical card, because not all of the shops out here who provide marijuana can sell it recreational. It's a special license. There's like 47 right now, hundreds, but you have to pay cash.
Because they can't get banks to deal with them. And I've covered that a little bit.
No banks will deal with them.
Yeah.
None.
Which is the epitome of hypocrisy. Because these banks, Wells Fargo, Citi, U.S. Bank, fill in your too big to fail institution. Karla, you know, and I know, they wouldn't be in existence right now if it wasn't for the people of this country pledging against our will to serve, to bail them out. And at the same time, you have banks like HSBC, another bailed out institution, that recently paid fines in the neighborhoods of billions of dollars for laundering drug cartel money because it's one of the most profitable segments of their business. They will get involved in the drug trade when it's illegal and it's extremely profitable. But people of Colorado vote that it's okay to own an ounce or whatever the case is. And these banks are suddenly self-righteous and they don't want to participate.
Nope.
That's complete hypocrisy.
It is.
And, the banks want it illegal because they make more money on it that way. So, again, from one little, marijuana to the subject of an entire nation like Ukraine, at the core root of it, if you dig deep enough, it's about the money. It isn't about, the crap that you're going to get these politicians and actors tell you. It's about the glory of a nation and the shining city on the hill. Bull crap. It's about serving a banker's interest. And that's inevitably, when you boil it down to the root core, that's what every American needs to get into their brain, in my opinion. That we can't fight, kill, and die and continue to spread a lie based on phony patriotism and propaganda, when in reality, all that propaganda, all of that patriotism, all that bloodshed, all that misery and suffering isn't to serve humanity in any country or any ism other than corporatism and, these greedy, scum-sucking, too big to fail bankers that don't care about humanity at all. In fact, the more disabled, the more disheveled, the more deaf, the more profitable. Punching! Whack! I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Wait. That is okay. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about as far as this journey? Independent media, Krabby Dog, Charlie, crazy, lunatic, fringe. Are we good? Are we solid?
I think we're good.
We're good. This has been DoomCast number 30. My name is Charlie Mcgrath. My website is wideawakenews.com. My YouTube channel is Krabby Dog Tricks. Our joint venture, Doug Owens, is blacklistednews.com. And our joint website is DoomCast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at The DoomCast Show. Please send your emails to info@wideawakenews.com. That's if you want to email me, Charlie Mcgrath. If you want to email Doug Owen, Doug@blacklistednews.com. We will be back mid-next week with our DoomCast number 31. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you.